Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the 10-Minute Book Talk, where three best-selling authors talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes. I'm your host this week, Rachel Linden, and I'm joined by Marie Bostwick and Katherine Reay. And this week, we decided, why not just talk about some books we really, really loved writing? So amongst us, we've written, I don't know, probably, what do we have, ladies, 35 books?
Please. Yeah, I would
Something
think.
like that. Katherine, you've got, how many books have you written, Katherine?
11 or 12.
11 or 12. Okay, Marie's up to 20, and my
Yeah.
fifth one just came out. So yeah, so we're like at, I don't know, 37, whatever that is. I wasn't a math major, I was an English major. But we wanted to talk about books that, some books, it's funny as an author because your books kind of feel like your kids. Every kid is different, every book is different, but there are certain books that kind of worm their way into your heart a little bit more. And so we wanted to talk about some of our favorites of the books that we've written. So we're going to start with the woman who has read them or written the most books. Marie, tell us about the book one of your favorites that you've written.
Well, I mean, I do have a few favorites. They're all, people are always like, oh, what's your favorite book? I couldn't just say one, but I will say that The Promise Girls really did have a special place in my heart. I felt like I was doing very good work. I was, if I could go back and do a few things now, I probably might tweak, right? Because we always want one more round of edits. But I was incredibly satisfied when I finished writing this book. It is a story of three failed artistic child prodigies who haven't been creating art in a long time, had a very strange and bizarre childhood. It opens with a bang, and are now like trying to get back to that place, trying to reclaim their relationship as sisters, but also trying to find out family secrets and to learn to create with joy again. And I wrote this book and it did okay, but 2017, and then in 2022, there was an article in Book Page, which is the magazine for libraries. And I have to say, and I don't normally save my clippings, but this one is on my bulletin board because I was like, dang straight. And the article is called Under the Radar Reads. It says, we love it when a great book or hardworking author cultivates a huge following, but we also love cheering for an underdog. Here are 5 books we believe are deserving of the fireworks and fanfare typically reserved for the biggest blockbusters. And I was like, yeah, I wish you had written that in 2017 instead of 5 years later. But I'm just going to do
better late than never.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, I'd take it 5 years later.
Yeah. And so I want to tell you just a little bit about this because it's so much better when somebody else blows your horn for you. So this reviewer said, she said it had been on her TBR, to be read book list like forever, obviously, because 2017.
5 years, probably.
And she says, I'd forgotten how it had gotten there. And when I finally started reading it sometime in mid-2021, by chapter 5, I had downloaded the rest of Marie Bostwick's novels. Although I've loved them all, my favorite is The Promise Girls. The 3 Promise sisters were groomed to be artistic prodigies by their overbearing mother, Minerva. During a live televised performance, pianist sister Joni intentionally blundered her signature piece, and Minerva slapped the girl on live television. This is how things start. But then I love what she says in the end about this book. She says, Bostwick creates worlds where we can trust that with support of loved ones and a healthy dose of creativity, good people will prevail. Her stories have been a refuge to me. I know that many readers would find similar comfort in them. So The Promise Girls, it is kind of an under the radar. If you haven't read it, if you like my books, even if you don't like my books, even if you've never tried my books, maybe give this one a try. This would be a good place to start. It's a great book. And look, it has, my name is in gold. I really loved the fact that my name is in gold.
My mother loved that book. My mother loves all of your books, but she particularly talked about that one. So not only does it have Booklist stamp of approval, it's got Adele stamp of approval.
It's got the Adele stamp.
So
there it is.
That's right. All right. Thank you, Marie. Promise Girls. Yes. Lovely. Katherine, what do you have?
Oh, okay. So I have got what I call my sister love story, and it is Lizzie and Jane, and they are not Lizzie and Jane from Pride and Prejudice. You know, those two sisters who are so close and have each other's back at every moment. These are estranged sisters. And it is a love story of them finding each other again. Lizzie's a New York chef who's lost her ability. It's a very relational gift, cooking, and she's about to lose her restaurant. So she heads back to Seattle, where she helps her sister Jane, whose taste buds are changing. She helps her through breast cancer chemotherapy. It is not a book about cancer by any means. That said, breast cancer provided this sort of backdrop that has touched every woman I know, whether it be themselves or friends, aunts, sisters. We all know someone who's gone through that struggle. And 3 friends actually gave me their diaries for their time struggling through, you know, radiation and chemo through breast cancer therapy. And so it really gave a lot of that sort of emotional, you know, resonance within the book, but it's also a love story with a lot of great food, a cast of characters that I came to love, a lot of literature. And I always say it is Jane Austen meets Ernest Hemingway, because if you're going to write a book about food and drink, you have to have Hemingway in there. So there really is, there's a lot of great things in this story, and I love these sisters, and I love their longing for each other, and I love it when they finally find each other. So there you go, Lizzie and Jane.
Seattle.
Yes, based in Seattle, where I was living at the time.
Yeah, move home. Move home.
We're all
then I'd be with you two, which would be amazing.
Oh, miss you,
Back
Katherine.
home.
All right, I want to talk about The Enlightenment of Bees. This is my 3rd novel, and this was the most autobiographic novel. I put a lot of myself in here, and it's been very, very interesting, the response to this one. I'm still getting emails about it, which I love. So this is about a young apprentice baker, Mia, whose entire life falls apart in a day. She thinks she's getting engaged in Seattle, and that's not what happens at all. And she loses her job and her fiance in the same day. And so she goes sort of unexpectedly signs up for this around the world humanitarian trip. And it's all about her finding her new sweet spot in life. She has kind of this savior complex. She ends up in Mumbai. She ends up in the refugee camps in Hungary. And it's about learning how the things that we love interact and meet the needs of the world to make that sweet spot. So I put tons of myself in this book, from the breakup to even a shark chase scene I put in there. Totally got chased by a shark about 15 years ago in Florida. And so this is a really autobiographical novel. And the response to it has been just so sweet, because so many people have written to me and said that this happened to me. I was broken up with, or I don't know what to do with my life. So it's really been a touchstone for people, women, particularly in their 20s or 30s, who are really seeking that place where they can give from the things that they have inside of them, the passions, the talents that they have. They want to make the world a better place. And this book reminds them that that can happen. So one of the ones that made me cry, a woman, a reader, wrote to me and she said, I'm disabled, I'm in a wheelchair. And I had forgotten that I still had something good to give to the world after my disability. And she said, this book reminds me that everybody has something good that they can give to the world to make the world a better place. And I just sat there crying, because that's the hope of every writer, right? That the message that we have in our stories somehow touches someone's life and reminds them about something true and good and real in their own lives. So this has a special place in my heart, because it just keeps touching people in a way that is inspiring them to remember that they have something good to give. So that is the one that has a special spot for me.
Gorgeous.
All right, well, ladies, let's hold up our book. So we have amongst us 36 or 37, I think we just said, books. So there are lots and lots to choose from. You can read them all. You don't have to choose.
Yeah,
You
have no problem with that.
Book list reviewer did, download all of them, and you'll have a lot of reading material for this year. But if you're looking for the ones that really touched us and have touched other people, these are ones that we would recommend. And thank you for joining us. Oh, I'm going to ask the question. Marie Bostwick, what is bringing you joy today?
My hair looks so good today.
Your hair looks so good today. It was so sweet.
It does.
No, I've just been doing this all morning.
Yeah, it should totally bring you joy. Good curls are a thing of beauty. Katherine, what is bringing you joy today?
Okay, this sounds so trite, but you two, we did not film in December. And so I miss seeing your faces, and you two get to hang out all the time. I know, but I don't get to. And I've spent the morning with you, and that has brought me laughter and joy and smiles. And I miss y'all. So there you go.
Oh,
Oh,
miss you too. Move
well,
home. Move home.
that's not trite at all. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest. We have had gale force
Ooh.
winds. It's been pretty rugged weather, and I love to be outside. I walk around our island every day if I can, and I haven't been able to for a few days. And I just looked out the window, and it's sunny. And as soon as we're done filming, I'm putting my shoes on and I am headed out the door. And so that is bringing me joy, the idea of being in the sunshine in the Pacific Northwest. So that's what's bringing me joy today. All right, ladies, hold up your books.
Okay,
One
here we
last
go.
time.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 10-minute book talk. We recommend these reads, and we have new, exciting, good reads every single week that you can tune in to find out more about. And tune in next week for more bookish fun. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.